Good morning, everyone, from the South Dade Chamber. Welcome to our South Dade Chamber shout out. We do hope that everyone had a beautiful weekend and a wonderful Independence Day celebration for their families with fun and safety. I am Lisa Greer, Chamber Board member, and here with me this morning is Frank Gonzalez, owner and operator of Spur of the Moment Ranch in the beautiful Redland. Frank, welcome to the South Dade Chamber shout out. It's such a pleasure to have you with us this morning.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's great to be here to be able to highlight what we're trying to get accomplished out here in the Redlands.
Absolutely. So I read, and I think a little birdie told me that your property actually started out as a working barn and stable. Is that correct?
That is correct. Our property was initially we have a longhand farm as well, and the barn was for horses, and we had horses there for many years until I decided to go this route.
Okay. And I've seen in your website, it's Spur of the Moment, the hitching post. Can you tell us how that came about, the hitching post?
Well, it's everything there has a name that goes with one with the other. The Spur of the Moment Ranch. I do get a lot of weddings that pop up last minute as a Spur of the Moment Ranch. And then the hitching post goes with horses and it goes with getting married. So it all that name all just blended together. And I thought it was really, really neat idea.
That is a very cool idea, and it makes it unique. And the Spur of the Moment Ranch has a rustic and chic countryside kind of ambiance. Tell us what type of events that you see that you host there.
We typically host by large is weddings. We do quinceañeras, we do birthday parties for 21 and older. We have a lot of bodies of water, so we try to stay away from children's parties because of the madness, if you want to call it that. But we do retirement parties, we do corporate events, we do pretty much anything that's an event that brings a crowd together.
And I can attest to that. I was at a holiday party last year at your venue, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Awesome.
Absolutely beautiful. So for the viewers that are watching us this morning, tell us a little bit more about the venue itself. What kind of amenities are there? What's unique about Spur of the Moment?
Well, one of the things that we have that I believe is unique is, unlike a banquet hall where everything takes place in one location, we have about 8 different locations that the couples or the guests get to enjoy, which is the ceremony area, the pole barn, which we call it the pole barn because it is a pole barn, but that's typically where the reception takes place. The air-conditioned barn, which is where the cocktail hour and the party takes place. We have a groom saloon, which is a Western saloon themed for the groom and his groomsmen, as well as we also have a bridal suite totally geared for the girls. We have fire pit areas for the quiet zones.
Goodness.
And we have gazebos surrounded by ponds, which is one of the areas where the couples like to do their first looks and some other photos.
That's wonderful. And I've seen some pictures, which we'll share by the chamber. I've seen some pictures of outdoor wedding scenarios as well as inside the barn.
Yes, that's correct. We have our main wedding location is in front of the pond with an arch that I made that's rustic. It's wood. It's kind of like driftwood. It's called the ironwood. Anyway, that's typically where the ceremonies take place. However, I do get a lot of brides that love to get married in front of the barn. They want the barn backdrop. And then thirdly, we have inside the barn for plan B. If it rains, we have an air-conditioned setting that's great. I mean, a lot of people say our plan B is better than most people's plan A. I'm just saying that. And that's not me. That's a lot of couples that say that.
Sounds like great feedback. But speaking of you building things, you put a lot of your own time and energy into this venue, did you not?
Yes, I did. Pretty much the big red barn was there, but I completely redid it. Every single thing else that's there, I did myself, except for the chairs and the stools. I built everything else. The pole barn, the smaller barn. Oh, we do have a smaller barn that I didn't mention, which we have a video booth in there as well. All of the tables, everything, all the antiques put together, the groom saloon, everything that's there, I built myself.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. That is incredible. So you have blood, sweat, and tears in that location.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. So if you had to pick out one single event that was most memorable for you at your venue, could you pick one out?
Absolutely. My most memorable event was my first event. We were all shaking in our boots, and it was a nightmare because it was a quinceañera, and everything and anything that could go wrong went wrong. As far as like the mother of the quinceañera was drunk. She got in a fight with their husband, the daughter. It was just crazy. I'm like, what did I get into? And that was our very, very first event.
And did everything come out okay?
At the end of the day, we have a 5-star review from the mom. because we actually stepped up to the plate and took care of everything that she was having issues with other people
So you
about.
filled in the gaps and you made
Yes,
sure everybody was happy.
that's correct.
That is so important. And I think that's one of the characteristics of our beautiful venues is the owners are right there. You are on site and you are making sure that gaps are filled, voids are taken care of, issues are resolved,
Yes,
feathers that are ruffled are settled down, right? So that you can have a good event.
that is absolutely right.
Oh
We
my goodness.
we are family owned and operated. We live on the property. We manage the property from the minute I wake up early in the morning from my ex-military life, and basically we are there until every last guest is gone and the place is cleaned up, ready for the next day.
How long have you been doing this?
We actually started. I started building the venue in 2018. We've been on the property since 2007. Our first event, the crazy one, was was April of 2019.
Wow. Wow. And how many would you say you do per year?
We,
Can you
on the
quantify that?
average, do anywhere. At the first, we did about 70. Right now, we're averaging about 100 to 125
Nice.
weddings a year,
Nice.
or events. Put it that way.
Events. Yes, events. And of course, we know that we have many, many venues in the Redland. And what happens is that the Redland has become known as the winter wedding capital, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Yes.
why wouldn't you want to come to South Florida, where every other place in the world is maybe not as is inclement, and you can be assured whether it's winter, spring, or fall that you're going to have a beautiful event.
Absolutely.
Right? You're going to have a beautiful event.
We host weddings, and I've had weddings from California, Chicago, New York, the Carolinas, Georgia, just about everywhere. I've even had some overseas weddings from Brazil and Venezuela.
Oh my goodness! A lot of word of mouth referrals, or how do you get the word out?
We're fairly active on Instagram, and yes, a lot of. At first, it was all advertising. Now we are getting a lot of word of mouth.
Okay, excellent. Well, as a member of the South Dade Chamber, I'm going to give you a plug. For those of you watching us this morning, please look at their website, www.spurofthemomentevents.com. Take a look at the pictures, take a look at the memories, take a look at the amenities. You are going to absolutely love this venue, and you'll love the service that you get from this venue. Any other stories or anything else you'd like to tell us about your venue that sets you apart, you think?
Well, one of the things is, one of the things as a venue, we try to follow the guidelines as far as what the county is looking for. The guidelines that the county set forth, which is basically the sound level, the amount of guests, the amount of times that we do the events, and we pretty much stick to those events. I meter my music every single event 3 times a night. And just to stay within the norm, we actually go out of our way to do that, which is one of the things that we're trying to do to educate the other venues as well.
You know, it's interesting, and our viewers won't know this, but I actually live about a half a mile east of your location, literally.
Interesting.
And I never know anything's going on. Never. So that's a good thing.
I have literally had neighbors that don't want the venues out there call the police. And the police sat outside for 15 minutes trying to figure out where my event was at before they drove in and sorry to bother you, but we got called, so we have to be here. But literally, you cannot hear anything from my sidewalk.
I never hear anything. So congratulations to you for following all of the ordinances and making sure that you are neighbor friendly. So that's a great segue into the next topic of our discussion, and that is your involvement in the brand new association that has been formed by many of the venue owners out there in the Redland, and that is the Miami Countryside Agritourism Association. You are the vice president, correct?
Yes, I am. And the way that this came to be is because there is a group actively seeking to remove or eliminate as many venues as possible because of the noise ordinance, and just some of them just because they don't want us there. Our goal is to unify the venues, bring awareness countrywide, I mean nationwide, to the fact that we're here, and it's a winter place to have your weddings or your events. And our main goal is to educate and bring as many members together to educate them as far as what to do to follow the guidelines to make sure that they don't get the rest of the venues in trouble and everybody can coexist happily.
So, Frank, if someone out there is operating a venue or is not operating a venue, but is curious about what the rules are, can they contact you? How do they?
Absolutely. They can reach out to myself or Belkis or any one of the other members. Currently, we're putting together all the information to bring more members aboard.
Okay.
Right now, it's just the board members and a few that have gotten together, but they're not fully aware of the guidelines yet. We can bring them up to speed on the guidelines as far as what's required and whatnot.
Excellent. So for our viewers who are interested, the chamber will gladly put you in touch with Frank or Bilkis, and you all can either join, ask questions, get together with you, and you all will talk about the issues that the venues have been having and are trying to resolve.
Absolutely.
Right? Excellent. Excellent. So are there any other specific issues or maybe even positive things that you would like to share with the viewers relative to the venues that are out there in the Redland?
Well, the beauty of it is that there are quite a number of venues out there,
Mhm.
and everyone is different. I mean,
Mhm.
there isn't one that's the same. There's some barn venues. None
Mhm.
of them are the same. They all offer different, different scenarios. There's tropical venues. Ours actually blends both
Mhm.
tropical and rustic. But there's a huge variety of venues that they can come out and see,
Mhm.
and activities that they can do.
And so the interest that the South Dade Chamber has in this venue association and in your operations is as well is number one, there's an economic impact to these events and venues in the Redland area, Redland and Homestead area. Why? Because it's not just a venue for a wedding. You all are helping with food catering and service and hospitality and flowers and entertainment, correct?
There is a massive army of people that are involved with the venues besides the venue owners.
Mm-hmm.
It's a livelihood for quite a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
including, like you said, I mean, the venue attendants, the valet parking,
Ballet.
the catering, the local hotels.
Mm-hmm.
We personally do about 60 to 70% of our weddings are from outside of Dade County.
Mm.
A good amount are from Broward and Palm Beach, and the others are from out of state.
Isn't that amazing?
And that is money that's being pumped straight into our economy down here in South Dade.
And I know for personally that when you host a wedding, you've got people that are not only, even if they're from Palm Beach, let's say, you've got family members and friends that are coming from all over the place, and they need a place to stay, they need places to eat, they want to, they attend the venue, the event, and then they may hang around and enjoy the gems in our South Miami-Dade community.
Absolutely, they do specifically that. A lot of them will come down and stay 2 or 3 days in our local area,
Mm-hmm.
spending money here in Dade County,
Mm-hmm.
besides the venue.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. How many people can you service at your particular venue at Spur of the Moment?
Okay, our venue is capable of hosting 200 guests comfortably. Wow. We have done that in the past. However, we recently brought it down to 150 to keep the bride and their guests comfortable. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, the Dade County ordinance requires 150 guest max. Okay. That's based on a 5-acre property, which is the minimum size that the county will allow. It's a 5-acre property, parking on site or within 1 mile, mm-hmm. and 150 guests with 3 events a week.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot to prep for. It's a lot to prepare for. It's a lot to keep your venue ready on the ready for it. Do you rest?
Barely. Well, my weekends are Monday to Thursday.
Your weekends are Monday to Thursday. That makes sense completely. So we thank you. The chamber thanks you for your membership because you've been a loyal member of the chamber. And so we thank you for that. And hopefully you are, and Spur of the Moment is getting out of the chamber what you hope to in terms of attention and assistance and guidance,
Yes.
And that you get that word out and help us get that word out. But we do thank you for your membership.
No, thank you. I mean, one of the things that we're going to encourage our members that come on board with the MCAA is basically to bring them on board with the chamber as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you.
By the way, MCAA, Miami's Countryside
I was just going to say
Tourism Association.
You beat me to it, but that's you. It came off your tongue so quickly. MCAA. I'd have to think about that. MCAA, Miami Countryside Agritourism Association, Inc. Do you have a website yet?
No, we do not. But the reason we named it Miami's Countryside, we struggled with the name a little bit, trying to figure out which way to go with that, and we figured Miami's Countryside because most people that come here don't realize that Miami does have a countryside. They just see it as one big concrete structure here in South Dade.
You're absolutely right. And there's so many gems in South Miami-Dade in particular. We have 2 national parks. We have all these venues. We have eateries. We have vegetable and fruit stands. We have U-pick areas. We have all kinds of things to do in the South.
Yes.
That a lot of people don't know about. And a lot of people in our own county don't know about and don't realize. But you could spend the day in South Miami-Dade.
More than a day.
More than a day in South Miami-Dade and have a great time and see the sunsets that we get to enjoy that are so beautiful.
Yes.
The sunsets are absolutely breathtaking.
I love it when the African red dust comes in.
Uh-huh.
All our sunsets are red. It's beautiful.
They're just absolutely breathtaking. And you just sit there, for me, because I'm, like I said, I'm only a half a mile away from you, sit there and we look to the west and we just enjoy it.
That is actually one of the things that our brides enjoy, because we time our ceremonies to end right when the sun is about to set, and they get that twilight hour, the golden hour they call the photographers, and we have some phenomenal pictures of sunsets with the couples on our site.
And we'll share those with our members when we send this out to them. But and nothing more important to a bride and a groom than the memories that can be captured, and you help do that.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we take pride in is our reviews. I mean, we have 5 stars across the board. We have a couple of crazy reviews. And I had a lady complain about the heat in the middle of July. It was a guess, but hey, what can you say? But other than that, everything is 5 stars. And it's not a simple, just like, hey, it was great. It was like, they write a book. They love it.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the South Dade Chamber looks forward to continuing in supporting the association's mission to get the word out, to make sure that our venue operators are compliant so that their neighbors and friends will appreciate what the venues bring to the table in terms of not only the economic impact of our communities, but the fun that our families have when they host their weddings and events at these venues.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So thank you, Frank, for being with us today. We really appreciate that. We appreciate your educating us on what the association is going to be working towards. And we will continue as a chamber to get that word out on your behalf and share that information. And any challenges that you have, we'll be walking with you side by side.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes. So this is the point in our show when we thank all of the chamber's members for being members, our trustees for their trustee partnerships. Why? Because the chamber is here for our businesses within our community. We are here for our member businesses. In the same manner that the chamber partnered up with our venue operators to help bring their issues to the table so that some resolutions could hopefully become a reality, that is what the chamber is here for our members. So without our member partnerships, without our trustee partnerships, we could not do what we do day in and out. We thank our staff who are on board and up to the minute and, there for our members all the time. They're wonderful individuals. And we encourage you to check out what the chamber is up to next. So please check out the chamber, southdadechamber.org. There's a couple of things that are going on in the very near future with the chamber. If you're a new member to the chamber, please plan on attending our virtual new member orientation on July 20th at 9 a.m. Now, being a member of a chamber is not just cutting a check and submitting it to the chamber. We like that, but we want our members to become as involved as Spur of the Moment and all of our other members have become involved. They're there, they're present, they meet other people, they network. You take advantage of the opportunity that a chamber can bring to you. So please attend the orientation so that you can learn a little bit more about the chamber and you can understand the value of your membership. So in addition to that, we have a candidates forum coming up on August 4th at 8:30. Please stay tuned to your newsletters to be able to register for that event. We also have secured our annual health and wellness fair for October 15th at our Miami-Dade College Homestead campus, another member and trustee to the chamber. So please stay tuned for that as well. We expect a grand turnout for that and a lot of information available to our community. So a lot of good things happening with the chamber, southdadechamber.org. We thank you again for being with us this morning. We thank Community News for hosting our shout outs every week without fail. Without you, we couldn't get this word out to our members and to the community. Frank, again, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you so very much for having us here.
Such a pleasure to talk with you this morning and learn a little bit more about your venue.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great day.